Hello and welcome to Good Games Well Played, episode 200. I'm Clint, aka JCM, with us this week is Isli
Yo,
and Messiah.
200.
Yeah, episode 200. We made it.
Holy shit.
I know, right? Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, oh, damn, it's a shame we couldn't record last week. Like, having the 200th episode being all about the Switch 2 could have been good, but I was like, I couldn't make it. I mean, we'll still cover Switch 2 at this point. Everybody's already talked about it a lot, but since we're
Mhm.
out, we can mention a little bit, but it'll be
it's a
more of just kind
Switch.
of a highlight. Yep.
It's the
But we're going
second one.
to, that's right. There's a 2 at the end. Uh, but we'll
It's
just go ahead
being
and start.
tariffed.
Well, we'll see how much it gets tariffed. But we have some other news to cover. Not a whole lot. The long in development patch 8 for Baldur's Gate 3 finally got a release date that's coming out on the 15th. This
Cool.
includes things like photo mode and official photo mode, crossplay, plus like a bunch of new subclasses. There's like 12 new subclasses, which
Whoa.
sounds pretty cool. And then the Series S is finally getting split screen support. Like, can you imagine if they had waited, if Xbox actually waited until split
God,
screen support came out to release on console right now? That'd be
Oh
insane.
my god.
the new classes look really fun though, and they have. I never really thought about this before, but they have so much content that they could bring in just from subclasses from like 20 years of, well, not even 20 years, because they wouldn't even just do 5e, but the history of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. I mean, this will be the last big major update for the game, so I'm sure they'll deal with this. I was like, man, I wonder if because I was thought about it the other day. I was like, I do want to finish my Dirge run, but I was like, I almost wanted to start a new campaign. But now that crossplay is going to be coming, I was like, ooh, that could be fun. Like, because you're talking about, hey, what do you want to
Mm.
play in April? I don't think we could beat Baldur's Gate in time for
I
April, but
I think that Baldur's Gate is a time commitment that is unrealistic for us to play together, given the fact that we struggled to beat It Takes Two or Split Fiction.
we beat Split Fiction, and that wasn't that
Well,
much. That wasn't a struggle. Like, we managed
we
to do it. You were able to commit to a couple nights in a row, and we got it done.
And what I'm saying is, I think that Baldur's Gate would have to be like a 5-year process.
It wouldn't be that. The benefit though is like if we were starting fresh, yeah, I think like it would take too long. But because like we know everything, where everything is, on maps and whatnot, and we know like builds, like I think,
Do you think you know
two.
where everything is anymore, though?
Well, I know like where, yeah, I know where like everything is. I know where like the thief ring is up on that body. Like I know where all the fights are gonna be, all the big fights. We know what's coming. I feel like having all that knowledge plus like OP builds. Um,
Speaking of OP builds, I just want to throw this out there that I used my build that I used for like actual Dungeons and Dragons when I was playing, and uh, when I was recently looking up like the most popular builds for honor mode, it was basically like one of the number one builds, and I'm like, man, I thought I was creative when I came up with this, but it turns out that it's actually like a
like a
very
basic
popular
bitch
one.
over here.
Yeah, basic P.
That's right. But no, I think it would be fun if we had like some time to commit to it. And like I said, I think April especially because like really it just comes down to you have less nights than I do because you got your piano and then you got to come by the time you get home, yada yada, all that and all that. So it's like you don't have quite as much. But April, it would be fun to do. But oh well. I mean, that's what I was thinking. It's like, oh man, this would be a great month if you got like Sons of the Forest on your laptop and we actually played Sons of the Forest.
It'd be fun. I just think that like I'm thinking of my first playthrough of that game and it was really long. It
Yeah,
was
because
not a fast
my second
playthrough.
playthrough for Dirge like went pretty quick. I felt like because of again knowing everything where it's going to be, knowing what to look for. I'm looking like, where the hell's that wedding band, man? Where is it? I can't find it. Oh, it's in the haystack. It's like I don't have to worry too much about like wandering. I know where stuff is. Uh, I know that these guys in this tavern are bad. I'm just going to kill them now and then go get Karlach. Uh, who I'm gonna lose anyways because it was the Dirge run. So,
Mhm.
but uh, but yeah, a lot of cool stuff. I like I said, the subclasses make doing a new run very tantalizing because I'm like, oh, I could start fresh with this new stuff because I wouldn't want to like respec in Act 3 and be like, okay, let's try doing this. It's like, no, I
Mhm.
want to start all over. Yeah, so that's exciting. Probably, like I said, crossplay is really cool on that. Then the Xbox confirmed that they will have a June showcase. Outer Worlds 2 will be. They will have a direct specific for that as well. So we figure a lot of showcase probably set up in June. I wonder if Sony's going to have their own like PlayStation showcase set up for June as well. I'm trying to remember the last time they had a showcase, and I don't wasn't wasn't too big, I don't think, but I have to dig it up. But yeah, everybody's kind of solidifying their June stuff now, so that's good to see since it's that typical summer game fest time. Um, and then yeah, the other thing that happened while we're gone is just Switch 2 got announced. Again, we'll just kind of quickly cover a lot of stuff about it. So they confirm, hey, yes, the controllers are mice. Looks very awkward. Like I had an old manager who used a vertical mouse, and it's just like the most awkward looking thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, I can't imagine using those as a mouse. But and then it's got a fan built into the dock, so they can do output like up to 4K resolution on TV to help kind of boost performance. And then they also showed the okay. So the one feature I do like that I talked about in Discord is the Discord kind of functionality ish that they have with the C button, which is
Mhm.
like basically share and like you can see everybody else's gameplay down below your screen, like four people. It's like at 10 FPS, but you can see it. I'm like, man, because I've used that screen share feature on the PlayStation 5 with Isli before, and it's fun. Like it's only like 720p, but when you shrink it down to just like a small portion of your screen, like it looks good and it's fun to like. Oh, when he was playing, I think like you did it when you
We've
were
done it
playing
with a
Demon
few
Souls.
games. Yeah,
Uh,
I think we did it with Demon Souls, and we did it with well, we've done it. I think we did it with Death Stranding for a little bit, and then we've used it with other games we were interested in before. I think the first one we tested it with was even The Last of Us. It did not
yeah,
work well there.
but yeah, it's a fun feature. Now obviously I stream, so it's like if anybody's interested in watching, he's doing it there. But like from a console perspective, like it looks really cool. Like, oh man, that'd be pretty dope, especially we're doing like, you know, single player games together and you're all playing it and you can see whatever he's doing. Like not do it for Mario Party or Mario Kart, whatever. Like that's silly. But I was like, that's a fun feature. And then yeah, they showed off some other stuff. The backlash towards that little like tech demo they have being $10 to be like, "Hey, we'll show you how to use the stuff," but it's $10. It's not a pack-in. Uh, Super silly. They did announce that the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the King, right? It's both of them. Will be
Yeah.
getting Switch 2 versions that are $10 if you already own the game, kind of like what Sony does if you now Sony does that when they were like director's cuts or they were like remastered upgrades. Like Days Gone remastered came out for PS5 and that is a $10 upgrade. But what was interesting is I was curious, like, okay, well, at least in the case of Zelda, they have like commentary. So aside from like the FPS boost and the resolution increase, there's also like some commentary stuff plus a second screen app so you can turn your phone into a GPS for an open world game where the whole point is to explore whatever. So like there are extra features because I was trying to think, I was like, well, if it was just FPS and a resolution, it should be free if you own the game. You just put in the disc or the cartridge and like or download it and it runs better on the better hardware. Because that's how it worked for PlayStation Xbox. Like you put the game in, it's like, okay, now the game, if it has like an uncapped frame rate or like a 60 FPS it couldn't hit, or variable refresh rate, it just renders it at those higher resolutions and frame rates. And it's like that's
Mhm.
the native boost you get automatically. And then the director's cut of like Death Stranding would be like, okay, here's more content, here's, the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, whatever. It's like we reworked it, but it only costs you $10 if you want. I'm like, okay, so hopefully that's enough content for folks to be like, hey, it's $10. Otherwise, it'll still be full price for anybody else. But I was like, you know what? I could see, not that it probably would never happen, but I could see like, okay, I could see, actually playing those games. If for some reason I had a Switch 2 in the future and it was like, yo, streaming it would do numbers or something, I'd be like, okay, I could see playing it on stream specifically. But it's cool to see it's getting a boost. I know the frame rate was like anytime I watched the frame rate, I was like, oh man, I know when you're playing it, you can probably deal with it because I've dealt with low frame. Plus, it's third person, not first person, so you can deal with subpar frame rates. I mean, I played Bloodborne and I had bad frame pacing, but yeah, it's nice to see that it's getting a nice boost and they have some games prepped for it. But yeah, a lot of Mario Kart being $80. A lot of people are
That's
like,
insane.
yeah, it's that's pretty pricey, which I was like, oh, what does that mean for GT6? Like GTA 6? Like, is that gonna be
Right.
$80? But and then we get that argument too, like, oh well, the N64 cartridges used to cost this much back in the day. It's like, yes, they're cheaper, games are cheaper, but like
I
no
hate
one
that
has that
argument
same
so much.
yeah, people don't have the same expendable income that the people back then that they probably had to afford those more expensive games.
Yeah, I feel like that just looks at it in terms of like you are taking the inflation of just the cartridge and saying like, well, it used to be this much, and you're not taking into account anything else, such as
Right.
the state of our world, which
Yeah,
is
it's
which is that
one
at like $80 probably means more now than it did back then, which is fucked up and weird.
yeah, it's like it's the one data point that is correct, yes. Video games were omega expensive until the PlayStation launched, and then it's like but yeah, and they are cheaper now, but it's like the economy is entirely different, things are different, like, people don't middle class isn't middle class like it was back then, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Mhm.
come on.
I mean, we
Childcare is
basically
insane.
don't have a middle class anymore. So
Yeah,
you're talking about like people just don't have as much money to be able to drop like $80 on a new game, or with taxes, and in some areas, let's just round it and call it 100, because at that point $80 is that'd be 90 here with tax.
plus it
Mhm.
was like the saturation of games back then too, like, it wasn't as much as it is nowadays. It's just like, yeah, you spend $80 on like N64 game, and like if it's single player and or multiplayer, it's like you're gonna get a shit ton of time in that game because that's kind of all you got at the time. Play GoldenEye, play Wave Race 64, do whatever, and just play these games over and over and over. But you're not like playing 15 different games. And also you don't have they weren't like free to play, like other games that were cheaper or free, vying for your time. It's like it's a tough sell, but we'll see. But at least the pack-in, well, now we'll see what happens to the price. But originally it was announced at 450 and the bundle with Mario Kart was 500.
The
So it's like,
um the freaking demo that they're selling though, did you see the article IGN posted about
yeah, Reggie.
Reggie responding to it essentially? And I'm like, wow, you are just like ripping apart your company or your old company.
Yeah, he said, let's see, let me see if I can find his
I enjoyed it. It was sassy.
yeah, this okay, the story of the Wii Sports pack-in. In the first clip, Fizime says, "It is an understatement to say that Mr. Miyamoto pushed back on the call to make Wii Sports a Wii console pack-in. As you know, this is a battle of Fizime won to a degree, with Wii Sports bundled with the Wii everywhere except Japan." The second interview clip he tweeted was talking about a similar battle to bundle Wii Play with the Wii Remote. In the clip from the interview, he revealed he was, quote, pissed off that Miyamoto once again, uh, he pissed off Miyamoto once again with the suggestion that, quote, you know, uh, they should be packed in, saying, no, he was not happy about that either. So, and yeah, basically saying, quote, in the Americas and the EU, Wii Sports was packed in with the Wii proposition. It was not in Japan, which created a bit of a test market. It was obvious that in the markets where Wii Sports was packed in, that we became much more of a phenomenon. Wii Sports itself became much more of a phenomenon. We did pack in the remote with Wii Play, and it became the fifth best-selling piece of software in the history of the Wii. And it's like, yeah, obviously you want to have like, and it's not even like it's not like it's Astro's Playroom or something. It's like it's just a small technique. Yeah, they have like little mini things you can do, but it's like just make it like it just keep it as a back end. What are you doing? It's weird. And, yeah, they paused pre-orders because 'cause they're like, because the whole tariff stupid situation, and then it's just like, "Alright, what's going on?" So it's such a insane thing, and it's like they already have consoles in the US, I think, just
It's a
not
pretty big
enough for the launch.
clusterfuck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They
It's,
must have consoles. If they're launching so
they
soon,
do.
they must have consoles in the US already.
They
They do,
absolutely do, yeah.
yeah, they do have some in the US already. I was listening to, IGN confirm, like, they have some, just not the amount that they need to ramp up. So it's like, could they have launched before tariffs went live? It's like, possibly, but they wouldn't have, they would have had backorder situations and yada yada. But yeah, it's you know, Switch 2, people are, excited, bigger screen. I'm it's but it doesn't have an OLED screen, it's an LED, or is it LCD? I forget which one it is. It's not an OLED. But it's like, okay, you're gonna do a refresh in 2 years that has the OLED.
I
Uh,
know, right?
yeah.
Probably.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like when,
Unfortunately, probably.
yeah, it's like when games come out, it's like the Destiny 2 thing. It's like, what about all those changes you made to Destiny that were really good, but now those aren't necessarily there in Destiny 2? Like, why did we suffer feature loss like we're some sort of superhero that has, or, hero in a game that has to get their powers back, Like, just
Credit
keep
to
it.
Destiny 2. They just never brought those features back. They just decided, hey, actually, we're just not going to bring them back at all.
Yeah.
You don't
Like,
get
nah.
those back, you lose them permanently.
Yeah, we're done. But, yeah, it's, I'm curious how to do it. I'll probably sell. Well, but that price point though. I'm curious about the price point, especially, since the Wii is or the Wii, the Switch is so much cheaper because I was like, I'm not gonna get this for my kid on launch. It's like that like he's got a
I'm
Switch and
surprised,
so
like, with the price point, I'm surprised that they didn't go lower on the price and then keep the higher priced games. Like, I guess I would have expected it to be like, "Oh, we'll get people with games, therefore we can maybe do a little bit of a cheaper, console price," and that is not what they went with.
yeah. Yeah, especially because it's like, oh, we could if the dev time to make a game run better on the Switch 2 wasn't that substantial, I could see being like, oh, well, the $10 we're gonna make by upgrading people who never finished Breath of the Wild or never finished the other one. I don't know why. Tears of
Tears
the
of the
Kingdom.
Kingdom.
Yeah, who never finished those because so many people don't finish open world games. It's like they'll go back and they'll pay that $10. It's like, how much do you think you can get? Many $10 do you think you can get uh, from these folks if your dev cost wasn't much to, because like, okay, what if one of those open world Pokemon games that didn't look good got updated or something? I don't know if people go back to play the old Pokemons, but maybe not a great
What
example.
if the Pokemon game didn't lag
Yeah, yeah.
when two Pokemon were on the screen?
Yeah, what if it was, optimized? But yeah, it's, and what's crazy is, like, some of the games aren't even gonna be on the cartridge. Like, they're like, "Oh, it'll be just the cartridge you have a cartridge, but there's no game on it because it's too big and you gotta just download it." I'm like, "What? That's insane."
That is crazy to me.
Yeah. Like, what do you it's crazy what's crazy too is they didn't say the price of the console in the video. Like, it
Yeah,
wasn't in the video. It was later, and
it was on the
which
website later.
yeah, it's like, okay, clearly you were, nonplussed about the price that you're gonna do, and you're like, "Just don't put it in the marketing. We'll just do it after the
Mhm.
fact." It's like, alright, that's kinda scary, but yeah, I'm sure it'll do numbers. Like I said, the Mario Kart seems interesting. I mean, Mario Kart 8, like, was around a million years, it feels like, so I'm sure this one will probably be around for a long time as well. And then there's, like, accessories you can get,
I
like a camera. It's like, "Okay, I guess." But
I don't know about the camera, that's so weird.
yeah,
The camera
Like, I
thing is
get
like,
it.
I will never use that.
yeah. You can put your face on a thing, Zaya, and then jump around in, like, a party game.
No, it's too much.
Yeah, it's interesting too how they're doing, like, Mario Party Jamboree, they're adding, like, a extra Mario Party bit to it that's specific. I don't wanna call it, like, Mario Party TV, but whatever it was, like, where it uses the functionality of the camera, I believe.
Mhm.
Uh, I kinda like that idea though of, like, taking, like, "Hey, let's just do an add-on to the recent Mario Party that utilizes the features of the console." I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, "Oh, bad idea." Like, "Hey, it's just, like, an expanded version of this game that does it." I was like, "That's kinda cool." But, yeah, I'm curious, like, for games like Civ 7 coming out on it, like, okay, how well will the mouse work, playing, like, Civ 7 if you played that game that way? Because I can see, like, okay, at least that won't be as bad as far as, like, clicking buttons, holding a vertical mouse. It's like you just kinda hit the one button. The bigger shoulder buttons on the in or not shoulder, but, like, the inside buttons, like, if you have use just the one controller and turn it, I'm like, that's kinda
Mhm.
cool because like, and they're just slightly bigger. They're not crazy bigger, but they're slightly bigger. It's like, "Okay, that's good." Feel much better in the hand. But, yeah, I mean, hopefully it does well and they confirm a price. I know, well, I won't go into this stuff here, but like administration talking about phones won't be hit by tariffs and certain electronics is like okay, well that's stuff coming out of China, and it's like is a Switch manufactured in China or some other place and then shipped to Japan to then be fulfilled out of Japan to make Japan the country of origin. Like I'm curious how they're going to do that. Will they shell company it somehow to some other place that's got lower tariff? Like what are they going to do? So logistics nightmare, but
Mhm. I'm sure they
yeah.
will at some point, but, out of the bitterness of their heart, they'll be like, "Oh, well, it originated in this place, so we're still gonna tariff it." Shut up.
Yeah, it's tough.
Literally does not know how the world works.
Yeah. But yeah, the Nintendo Switch 2. I mean, are you both probably play Switch way more than I ever did um,
Mhm.
on my Switch. So are you looking like will you get a Switch 2? Maybe not at launch, but like if the price drops, like is there anything or is it one of those things where because it doesn't have like a super killer app uh at launch, are you gonna wait for like some big first party thing for Switch 2?
I'm on the fence about it because there are quite a bit of games on Switch that I have that I just haven't played yet, and I
Mhm.
think playing them on the Switch 2 would be a better experience because obviously they would probably run a little bit better, just not even with like an upgrade or anything like that, just with like the processing power might help it a little bit. But at the same time, I also don't want to spend that much money on it, even though I know I will get the play out of it. I play my current Switch a lot. I played it a lot. But also I'm a little bit miffed that it's bigger. I really wanted it to just be the same size, but with like maybe an edge to edge screen would have been really great. So I'm like, not only do I have to get the console, but now I have to get new accessories for it and stuff, like a new case and
I thought
well,
you were gonna say bigger hands.
that too.
I have to get the
Um,
console and I have to get bigger hands now.
everything's getting bigger and I still have teeny weeny little baby hands. So yeah, I don't know. I know that the Switch OLED is like slightly bigger than the base Switch, which is what I have. Not the OLED, I have the base Switch. And I have cases that fit the OLED, but I don't think those are gonna fit the Switch 2 because it's like substantially bigger, it seems like.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I really wish I had been able to go to like one of the events that they were having. I signed up for on like the wait list to get a ticket to the Switch 2 preview event, but I didn't end up being able to go. I think I really just need to like see it in hand and be like, okay, it's not as much as it looks like, but the big thing for me with Switch is the portability. I play it in handheld mode way more than I play it docked.
Mhm.
So having that extra like bulk to it is a little bit disappointing. So if I'm going to spend that much money on it, it really needs to be like, okay, I know that I'm going to use this like I use the Switch now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wonder what, like, trade-in deals will be at, like, GameStop and whatnot. Because like, anytime like, when I got a PS5, I think no, because I did the PlayStation Direct, so I didn't there, but, like, when I got the PS4 Pro, I traded in a PS4, to get a discount on that. I'm curious what kind of trade-in value the Switch will have. I'm sure the OLED Switch will probably be, have more value versus, like, a launch model. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, I wonder what that'll be and how much that will help discount the Switch 2. But yeah, it's see how it goes. Comes out soon. Comes out this year, June. So I think during that kind of like that E3 event time frame. I think it's like during Summer Game Fest potentially because I know a lot of people in the game press are like, "Oh, it comes out that week." Well, some of you are gonna be gone. Good
Hmm.
luck not playing Switch 2. But like as a joke. So yeah, it's pretty close, right around the corner. Switch, I feel like yeah, I want to go back and like look at all the release dates of the Nintendo consoles because like Switch was February, and then Switch 2 is now June. But as like Sony and Microsoft like always do kind of that Q4 window,
Hmm.
like October, November.
I feel like everyone is a little bit off this year with timing of consoles and things. They're all a little bit different than they like used to be.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the news. Like I said, not a whole lot else that I had saved. I said there wasn't too much from last week. It was kind of the just the big thing was the Switch 2. But yeah, all right, we can go ahead and move on to what we've been playing. I know. Have you been playing a lot of outside of? Yeah, I know you went to the down for the concerts, but since we didn't record last week, how's Monster Hunter going, Zai?
So fantastic still. I don't know what it is about Wilds. I've never been like this attached to a Monster Hunter game. I think because Wilds is like has more flexibility as far as like, okay, I don't really feel like hunting monsters right now, but there are still things that I need to get. So I'll just go out. I don't have to do like a mission. I don't have to figure out what I'm doing. I can just leave the camp and go fish or collect or mine and stuff like that. So it's very flexible, but also the fights and the weapons are just so fucking fun. And I'm at the point in the game now where it's like it's hard to make weapons for like the regular weapons, the monster part weapons, to go up in the weapon tree and get to like a point where I have a decent enough weapon to try it on high rank hunts. But they have this new system of the Artian weapons where it's just like you have these components, you put them together and you can basically customize a weapon. So it's really, really easy to be like, okay, I want to try to play Sword and Shield. I hear that it's, really, really fun. It does good damage. It has like a good move set. I'll just make one of those, upgrade it like a little bit, maybe, just to get it kind of up to where it should be, and just take that out and start using it. And it's super, super fun. So it's very easy to just be like, I have enough components to make a decent version of this weapon that I want to try. Upgrade it a little bit. I maybe don't like it. I'll dismantle it and I'll get all of my upgrade stuff back. So I've been like trying out new weapons. There's already like I really want to try switch axes. They look very fun. So it's like I already have a list of like, okay, I know what I want to make now. Let's try this other thing and then go out and play that. So I don't know. The fights are just really, really fun. The monster designs are so cool and the weapons are really, really fun. So I constantly just want to play it. But I played it a little bit Thursday because I was off work, so I played it a little bit then. But then Friday I went to work and then right after work I drove down to Anaheim and then drove back. So I haven't really had a chance to play it yet, but that's kind of what I want to do all day today. I don't want to do anything. I just want to play Monster Hunter.
Yep, that's good. Did you take any handhelds down with you to the concert? Or are
No,
you
but I
just too tired?
really, really, really should have because I did not anticipate the amount of standing around that we would have to do. So,
Mhm.
just like a brief overview, we went to two concerts on Tuesday and Wednesday night, and I knew that Tuesday we would be driving down there. We were just gonna kind of hang out, get food, and then we would go check in because I got VIP packages. So, our check-in for that, for like the meet and greet and like the early entry and everything like that, was pretty early considering when the actual concert starts. It was like 4 hours before the concert starts. But I was like, I have my phone. I'm gonna be talking to people in line a little bit and stuff like that. Did not anticipate the fact that we would be standing in the pit for 2 hours waiting for the concert to
Oh,
start. So
no.
I was like, not only should I have brought a something to play, like my Switch that I could put in a bag or something, or like my little R36. I probably should have brought a backup battery too, so I could play shit on my phone or like watch something or play Star Rail. So did not plan very well, but I did play like Star Rail a little bit. Kind of Wednesday we were just literally sitting in the hotel room trying to physically recover from the fact that we're in our 30s and we were in a mosh pit. But no, I didn't take anything with me. I really should have, but I didn't.
Gotta get Balatro on your phone, and then you're like, just play that the whole time.
Hmm.
Yeah. What about you, Isley? Since we were out last week, what have you been playing prior to Blueprints, which we'll talk about in a bit?
I was gonna say same thing you've been playing.
But you didn't play anything between once we finished Split Fiction, and then from last episode between that and this
No, not
weekend, like
really. I had to
no.
get a freaking job, man.
I've been playing resume submission,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been playing Submit My
cover letter
Resume
drafting.
so that I can afford $80 games.
I've
I've been
been
playing
playing Job Hunt Simulator.
Cans
Turns
That's
out
Chat.
not a simulator.
it's hard to focus on games when you're like, "Oh, should I be playing this game? No, I should probably be trying to survive."
Yeah. I've been
Survival
playing
game IRL.
Can Chat GPT-4 get me a job?
No, but it does help with cover letters and resumes quite a
Right.
bit.
Well, I mean, it's so funny because
You
I'm like, yeah, because
you have to edit, but
that
like
shit's all just templates. Like, if you ever look at, like, I need a
Mhm.
cover letter template, and it's like prior to any sort of AI stuff, it's like all the same shit. It's like,
it is the same shit, but the like follow-up prompts of like make it more formal, make it less formal, be sassy. Like the follow-up prompts I think are where it becomes a bit different.
yeah, that's funny though. But well, I mean, I guess if you haven't played anything, I hadn't played too much. I played a lot of Balatro while I was because we went camping. That's why we weren't here. So I played a lot of Balatro on my phone. I was trying to beat Gold Stake on my phone, just having a hell of a time trying to do it. I did it on PC when I got back because I when I got back I was like, okay, I didn't stream anything because I was like, I'm just gonna Blueprints comes out on Thursday. I was hoping it would come out on Wednesday at like 9 p.m. Do one of those releases, but they did like a 5 a.m. Thursday release. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I was like, I don't want to play anything new since we beat Split Fiction and everything between now and when Blueprints comes out because I just want to play Blueprints at least on stream. So I did dabble a little bit going back into Assassin's Creed Shadows. I played some of that, just running around the world because they also hit a patch of that this week where like that feature where you can make the horse your mount like follow the road to your marker. Like they finally they didn't have that at start. Speaking of features that were in previous games that wasn't there to begin with,
I
so
was gonna
they
say.
yeah, they added that in, so that's nice. Not that I necessarily rely on that all the time, but there were a lot of times, like, especially in, like, late game Valhalla or something where it's like, "You know what? I wanna AFK for a sec or go swim. I'll just set the mark over here," as opposed to fast traveling, or if it's an area I hadn't unlocked the fast travel to, I'd do that. But I was having fun with that, and then but I didn't do too much. And then, like I said, I beat Gold Stake on with the yellow deck on Balatro on PC, finally. And it's just like it was because I kept getting these really bad rolls on the final boss blind of stuff. Like I had one run where it's like I had a really good Joker set up, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna clear this easy." Early on, like if you get a good setup, you're like, "Okay, now all I have to do is keep just making the poker hand that I like better because my Jokers are great." Like I have two Jokers with great multipliers, and I have one that scales as I go through the run. I'm like, "Oh, we're good. We're 4 Jokers. I don't need any more. We're done." And then I get to the boss, and the boss blind was like, disables 1 Joker, random Joker every hand. And I was like, "You motherfucker, man." And it's like, because my Jokers, like, I had like I forget what my first Joker was. It must have been a additive mult. And then my second one was like a scaling additive multiplier. And then the other 2 Jokers were like times 4 times 4. I'm like, which is how I made it get so well, but, like, anytime it disabled those jokers, it just ruined my hands, and I'm like, "I
Mhm.
can't do it," and I got so mad, I was like, "Oh," it's like I got killed by the one. I had, like, one where it was, on mobile where it was, like, the boss was flip your jo and I've had this boss a lot sometimes in, like, early antes, and, it'll be like, "Flip your jokers and shuffle them," and, usually I can counter that by at least the first hand, just going I put it at, like, point 0.5 speed, and then I just see which jokers tick off, and I know, like, "Oh, this is that joker that does this. Oh, this is the multiplying joker. Oh, this is this joker," and then I switch them around. So I'm like, "Okay, I played one hand, I'm good." I put them in the proper order so the multiplication works out in my favor, but I had one of those, and I missed one of the jokers, and I was in the wrong spot, and I was like but I didn't notice until, like, on the 3rd hand, I was like, "No, no, 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 no." I was short being it, so I just, like, couldn't do it on mobile, it was pissing me off. But yeah, so I'm glad I finally got that, on on the one anyways, but I gotta do all the other decks now and just slowly get through them. That game's just easy to play and stuff, but yeah, we both ended up getting Blueprints. I got it the night it came out. I It's free on PlayStation and Xbox. I picked it up on Steam because you know what? It's like, "Oh, I've been looking forward to this. I wanna give give them some support. I'll throw 'em this, and then I'll also download it on PS5 to hopefully give them the PlayStation Plus, stat as well. So if they get, like, a more money per people that download it,
Mhm.
they'll get that. But, yeah, I'm not too far. I'm on day see, where's my notes? I wanna say I'm on day, 13 or maybe day 14. So I'm not too far. I've only, like, 1 permanent upgrade unlocked and then stuff like that. I haven't finished a run yet, but, I since I already was familiar with this game from watching someone play it a year ago, how are you enjoying it, Isley?
I'm liking it quite a bit. I'm at a point in the game where I am not quite sure what I have to do. I guess I'm trying to think of like how to talk about this without fully spoiling everything. I've made it to the antechamber and made it inside the antechamber, and now I'm at a point where I don't really know what to do next, which is challenging. So I'm kind of just trying to like explore throughout the game to figure out what concept I'm missing, which, not sure what that is. But honestly, like, really much enjoying the game. I found it very fun. I like the concept of just like placing everything down and the roguelite element. I think that like one of the things that kind of throws me off is the cell shading in the game makes it kind of challenging to see like which items I'm actually supposed to be picking up versus which ones are not part of the game. Um, but yeah, I mean, all things considered, great game. Really like it. I think it's very fun. I'm it's a struggle to talk about without spoilers. I want to like talk about all the cool things I found, but the cool things I found are like maybe supposed to be surprises.
Yeah. Yeah, I kinda tough to talk about. I do there are speaking of, like, some items I don't find, like, I don't find the I've only found lockpicks, like, twice, I think, so I'm not used to seeing them when they're on, like, a table or something, like, "Oh, this is a lockpick. I can pick it up." Or, like, I'll forget about the salt shaker because I was in a room, it's like, "Oh, you got 4 items." Like, "Okay, there's a key, there's a gem, there's a die. Where the fuck's the 4th one?" I'm like, "Oh, it's a salt shaker." And then, yeah, like, seeing anytime I open up the glossary, you see, like, "Oh, which rooms have I unlocked?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm still missing some of, like, the basic rooms," or, like, these rooms, like, I still don't have them. And I've been the past couple runs, I've been doing a thing, like, anytime I get a room I've never gotten before, or at least a room I've never actually built because I was like, "I don't wanna build this room." It's like, it's not beneficial. Like, "No, let's just build the room, see what's inside the room." Because it could be, lore stuff, or it could be like, "Hey, this room is, there's it has their" I was thinking we were talking about it, last night, when I was playing, about the safe code and yada yada in the boudoir, and I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, I was like, "You know what? I bet the code to the safe is this, and I should be thinking of it more like Lorelei and the Laser Eyes." So I'm gonna go if I get the boudoir tonight, I'm gonna try it, and I think I know what the answer is because I I was doing something yesterday. I was like, for the most part, a lot of the solution to the puzzles are in the room. There's are some where it's like, hey, in order to do X, you have to have this other room to give like that laboratory has the thing. But that's more like it tells you like you need this extra thing to supply more power, like it's built into the world. But I think like anytime there's a puzzle that's like in a room, it should be isolated to that room for the most part. I'm like, the solution to the safe should be in that room, at least for the boudoir. And
For
I'm
the
sure it's probably
boudoir, that was the only safe I've solved so far. So it's been I won't spoiler what the answer is, but like it is interesting trying to figure out the solutions to all of these things because I feel like a lot of them seem really straightforward, and then there's other ones where I'm just like, this feels like there's more to this that I'm not understanding, and I don't know what it is. And we kind of talked about this before, and you might know the answer to it, but I do not. That at times, Blueprints feels like there's a lot more going on to it, and I haven't realized what that element is yet. And I'm really curious, if when I beat it, if that's actually the case.
I mean, there are well,
Yeah, you
that
can't.
that's why I
Sorry,
mean,
I
that
know
like
it's hard. Like you can't spoil, but
there's like hidden mechanics to the game, which I think when I was thinking back on what someone kind of related the game to another game, I'm like, I think this is what they're referring to. It's just because I already know that because I've seen the game played a year ago. It's like, uh, it's already knowledge for me, and it's not for them necessarily. So I think when they said, "Oh, this game's a lot like this game," when something clicked for them, and I'm like, I start thinking maybe they just mean this mechanic, and yada yada. But uh, yeah, it's a it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I did have a couple scuffed runs. I cursed myself by mistake, which I thought was really funny. I was like, I didn't mean to.
yeah, I assumed that when you said that you were talking about the shrine, which I have accessed before, though have not really explored or played around with yet.
Yeah, so I did the shrine. I went on, it's like, oh, make a donation. They're like, I'm just gonna put in 10 coins because it doesn't tell you like what coins you put in and what you get, right? It's just like at least I haven't found whatever it tells you. Like the constellations, you learn like what you get for the constellations as you keep
Yeah.
adding that up over time. Um, and then like everything else that if you buy food, this always tells you the currency. This is like just makes so like put in 10. It's like, oh, you got the red general or something like that. And it's like, oh, red rooms are like I think like way more likely to spawn or something. I'm like, this is a horrible, horrible thing. I don't want red rooms. And then unless like I'm sure there's probably a red room I haven't unlocked that's actually really useful or something like that. But it was like, okay, I want to put in more coins, but I went to go click on the donation thing, but instead of putting more coins in, it just took the coins out. And it's like, you took the coins out. You are cursed. And it's like now every time you build a room, it's like if you build a hallway, you lose a key. If you build a bedroom, you lose a gem. If you build this room, you lose steps. And so and a red room takes all three. And I'm like, oh, it's like it's gonna last for I thought it said it was gonna last for 2 days. It's like, fuck me. But I think it only lasted for one, so I was lucky there. But and then there was like another one room you can make in that outside one where it's like keep calling it the bunker, but it's a shelter. And it's like there's like a time lock safe. And I was like, oh, maybe the mechanic for the time lock safe is because you can put on like it has the entire calendar. So I'm like, maybe it's the like actual date. that you're playing the game. Like, that makes sense. You're on, there's been other video games in the past that use the IRL clock on your console as a mechanic in the game. I was like,
Yeah, that would
okay,
make sense.
like, the Animal Crossing uses that, yada yada. I was like, oh, so I'll set it for tomorrow when I stream. This time it unlock, and that didn't work. So I was like, okay, maybe it's different. But then I was like, okay, maybe it's the in-game time. Like, okay, well, I know what time it is in game because it's the same time every time you start. I was like, I don't remember what the fucking day is. And then like I forgot like what day it was that you started when you go here. But then I unlocked a room later for the first time that had the date in the room. I was like, "Oh, I know the date now." So I wrote it down like, "Okay, day 11 was this day on the calendar." So because that's the day I was on at the time. So now if I get the shelter again, I can put in and be like, "Okay, let's do it for tomorrow," which is, whatever day at this time, and then hopefully I get the same shelter in subsequent runs and whatever. I am curious like there are mechanics that evolve, like the puzzle boxes don't, but like the dartboard keeps eventually at one point gets more complex. It introduces square roots. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then it introduces uh, a negative square root. And I'm like, is that based on how many times I've actually done the billiard room puzzle? Or is that based on my day progression? Because you can see stats in like the library or whatever. Like it shows your stats, like how many times you've drawn your favorite rooms, which how many times you did the puzzle boxes, how many times you solved the billiard room puzzle, yada yada. So I'm like, I'm wondering how that progresses, and if that's based on days. But yeah, I know there's like it's funny because I keep thinking about stuff that I know about from the demo way back. I'm like, well, I don't have the answer to this thing yet, which I'm curious about. Like, did that change? Is that elsewhere? And there's other things where I think like, oh, there might be an answer here, but I need three things. I need the magnifying glass. I need the dark room. I need the breaker box in order to be able to look at something I want to that's in that room. I need those three things. So it's like, okay, maybe that'll help. But there are like other mechanics I like where it's, oh, I got the key card early. Okay, well, if I get the security room, I'm just gonna up the security to high so I get more key card doors. So I don't have to worry about needing freaking keys. And like that mechanic is fun. Like, okay, it's a run where I got the key card early. Let's do this to help me out, yada yada.
I do like the synergies between different play styles, and it seems like there's probably a lot of ways where you can uh, kind of beat the game. Beat the game rather not easily, but like there's a lot of different paths you can take if you want to actually beat the game with different run styles that I think kind of works well. The keycard one is a fun one that I think you discover pretty early on, that you can like turn off keycards and turn on keycards with the breaker box, and that
Hmm.
by doing that it maybe makes sense to like raise security or lower security when you wouldn't expect that before.
Yeah, and, like, I'm curious about, like, the break room also has, like, that HVAC bit where, like, you have the colored dots, and then later I found, like, the directions on, "Oh, if you click this one and click this one, this makes the purple dot." I'm like, "Okay, that's great. I know the colors, I just don't know what they correspond to just yet." Like, what other room is important that's like, "Oh, if I can input this code in the breaker room if it spawns, I can unlock something here." Kind of like the synergy between the lab and the pump room, and stuff like that, so yeah, it'll be I'm curious too, like, if it's just the one level, or if there's more. I didn't wanna, like, look into that because I know what needed to happen in the demo to get into the antechamber, but I don't know if that changed in the release. So I'm like, I'm like, "Okay." So I'm like, I can't and I don't wanna speculate on it, but it's like, okay, how much changed there? There's seems like there's some extra stuff on the outside grounds that there weren't there in the demo potentially. Like the orchard was there in the demo, but there's that like that the torches. I don't think they were there. I'm like, okay, well, how important are these torches? And then so it's just like what what has been added on, and then yeah, is this the only like how many days does it typically take? Like even if you knew like everything, like how many days? Like you have to still draw if you knew like the perfect solution. You have to draw the rooms to get whatever. So, like, you still have that random aspect of it, but
It's pretty interesting though. Like I've bricked some runs because of the roguelite elements, which I kind of enjoy. Um, I'm curious how much replayability there's going to be like once I figure out the actual puzzle system, and whether it's just going to frustrate me, or if the puzzle game is going to kind of transition to feeling more like a roguelite game, because I love playing roguelites and I think I replay them really frequently and really you know often. And with a game like this, I'm kind of like, I wonder if I'm actually going to replay it a ton, or if once I know the puzzles, it's going to kind of lose that charm and kind of fall to the wayside.
Yeah, I wonder too, like maybe if there's a trophy because there was one where I had like 7 red rooms, and so
Yeah,
when you're done, like the manor was red,
yeah.
and it like said like red, like it said the red manor, like to reflect kind of what I had done. So I wonder if there's like a beat the run with beat a run with like 8 red rooms or something like that. Like is there going to be something to that
It's
fashion?
I looked at the trophies, and either the trophies are impossible or they're glitched because there are like 5 trophies that, at least on PlayStation, nobody has earned.
Huh? Are they unknown so you can't see exactly what you need to do?
No, they're known. Um, I don't know how realistic they are, but like there's a speedrun trophy for beating the game in a day or in an hour, and then there's also a trophy for beating the game in 1 day. And nobody on PlayStation has either of those trophies yet. So
Well,
I'm
I mean
like,
that makes sense. Like it's that'd be hard to do the in one day. Like you need to know
Yeah, but
everything.
speedrunners, you underestimate speedrunners.
yeah, I'm
Well,
like, really, we
outside of
don't have any
glitching,
speed.
sure, but
But I was
I
like, really, we don't have any speedrunners that have done this yet, that like played the demo, were already familiar with it, and know how to beat the game in 1 day. Like, surely that's got to be something that these people already know.
yeah. Yeah, there's gotta be,
That one
like
just caught me off guard that like nobody has done either one of those yet.
yeah. Yeah, because I'm curious, like, if there's some because there are mechanics for the floor plan, like, the garage is always in this you can only go in the one spot, and then, like, the outside only the outside terrace rooms can go green rooms can go on the edge of the estate. It's like, that's, like, stuff that's there, but I'm curious, like, what other things, like, and obviously there's things like these rooms can only spawn on, rank whatever, they can't spawn in rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, stuff like that. Like, I know that, but I'm wondering if there's hidden stuff like, oh, if you do a hallway on rank 6, the east door will always spawn this as a floor plan of one of the 3 options. And if you do those in a row, like maybe there's some sort of secret unlock that way. Cause that's the only way I can think of like to be able to beat it in a day. That's I guess if you knew the code to the orchard for the lock, like if that's static, then it's like,
That's only on
okay,
the following day though.
the orchard.
Yeah.
So you can't just go to the orchard on day 1?
No.
I guess maybe you can't, huh? Um,
Following day only.
I mean, I think it's only gonna be like, I think the orchard's just gonna have, probably, I think, potential dig spots, maybe some food, and then, like, not, nothing, like, substantial, like, it's just stuff that helps you. Kinda
Right.
like I imagine once I open up the boudoir safe, it's just gonna be like, it's another box of gems or keys or random items that you can get. It's not gonna be like, "Oh, it's 4 floppy disks," blueprints or something like that, so
No, mostly I just thought it was like interesting because I feel like usually with even like brutal speedrunning trophies, speedrunners get it quick.
mhm.
And even if it's not, the 1 day trophy, sure, maybe that requires so much astronomical luck that it's like rare, but you're really telling me nobody has beaten it in an hour yet?
It's probably like, again, who knows? Like it it could just be one of those like not many people were aware of it back when the demo first came out. Like it kind of picked up steam
Right.
recently. But yeah, I'm curious too, like there's so many songs about clocks that I'm wondering like and there's so many
There's
clocks
so many clocks in the
everywhere.
game.
I'm always which makes sense because, like, they have that mechanic, like, hey, you set the time for the time box and yada yada. There's also that radiation mechanic, and I'm like, "Ooh, how do I game this?" And I'm not sure how. I'm assuming the laboratory somehow will let me game the radiation.
Is it weird that I have no idea what you're talking about?
You just may not have. You probably didn't draft the room that talks about it, or you didn't
I
read
know.
the
I'm
thing.
just I don't mind the spoilers, but there's a lot of things where I'm like I truly have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I'm curious too, like, is there a clock a an in-game time mechanic as well of like, oh, if you build rooms on an even hour, but then it's like that would fit for the day because I'm trying to think of like, okay, if they have a day mechanic, beat it in the day, glitchless, obviously be glitchless is the idea, that's how they build it. It's like there must be something there of like, okay, maybe if you build rooms in like an even hour of time, or it's like if you build a room with an odd number of steps, I don't know how you do that though, because it's like once you enter the house, you're at 49, or you enter a room, you're at 49, and it's like you can't game the steps unless you have a room that is step additive or you find the apple or something.
It seems like
But
a really challenging trophy to beat it that quickly.
yeah, I'm there's got to be like some small thing. I almost said a game. It must be like some small thing that is
You
there,
know,
a
some
mechanic.
small thing like this game.
Well, I was say again, I don't want to relate to the game because then that's
I know.
again, I don't want to talk about it. I'll remind me when once we beat the game, then I'll bring up the other game. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's a
but yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
I've made it to the antechamber. I'm currently like exploring, trying to figure out what to do after the antechamber. I got a little, hint from the antechamber, and I guess it's a spoiler that the antechamber is not like the end all be all, but I think you probably already knew that.
Got to it or in it?
Got in it,
Oh, nice.
so
Okay,
maybe
yeah,
that is a spoiler.
I haven't got into the antechamber yet. I've gotten to it, but the door's locked. I haven't gotten well, again, the way it's unlocked in the demo back in the day, I
Yeah,
haven't gotten that yet. I've been trying to because I know like, oh, well, in the demo, I need this. I want to try to put that here, but I can't get it to like
yeah. No, I
I don't
got you.
get the randomization of it. So I'm like, damn it. I was like, is there a way to game the system to do that? And I'm like, I'm trying to think like where was it when it would spawn in the demo? It's like I remember the exact tile in the rank it was, but I'm like, I can't always necessarily navigate to that spot. And even sometimes when I do get there, it doesn't spawn. It's like, yo, here's a freaking dark room. I'm like, I don't want a dark room. But yeah. Uh yeah, I'm curious about that. But yeah, it's got a lot of fun little mechanics in there. I hate it sucks too when you have like a run where it's like I had a run that was totally scuffed because I like hadn't I ran out of steps super quick. But then I managed to like recover it and make like a lot of progress and stuff. And it was like, oh, and then I found a floppy disk. I'm like, okay, well, it's not all lost. I got a permanent upgrade for my runs, yada yada. And then I had a run where I had like a ton of gems. I had a bunch of coins, and I was like, I need a freezer, man. Give me a freezer so I can save all this currency. And it's like, nope. And then I ran out of steps because I wasn't paying attention. I was like, no. Like I
I've
just
had a
wanted
few
the freezer.
runs where it's like really frustrating because they seem like they're going to be like winning runs or runs where I can explore a ton. And it's like I make it almost all the way to the end. I get a ton of shit. And then I just like run out of stuff to do.
Yeah. But yeah,
And I've
it's
had one or two like that were kind of like, ooh, painful.
yeah, it's still fun. But yeah, I'm curious, like how as the days go on, like is there like I there must not be anything that's if you can beat it in a day, then there's nothing that would necessarily block gate you. Because I'm curious, like like in Returnal, it's like you dying is part of those first couple cycles because like that's how you unlock more and more upgrades that you find, the sword, the whip, this stuff. It's like it's built into that. And I'm always wondering like how many times is failing actually good? Like obviously it's good because then you can potentially get new rooms into your draft pool to experience them and see what they're like to try them out. But it's like, okay, there's nothing there that's necessarily to block you from beating the game if you can beat it in a day.
I mean, maybe, but I could
Right.
also see like I like I said to you before, I kind of feel like there's more to this game that I don't understand. And I wouldn't be the most surprised uh if there was some element to this game that like I'm not grasping.
Yeah, like some secret and I don't mean, like, necessarily that there's nothing, like, there could be, like, oh, as you go on, it unlocks more stuff that kind of helps you, like, we talk about kinda like the safe in the boudoir, like, once you solve that, it's like, it's not necessary, but it's like, oh, there just could be some gems, it's like, do you wanna use a key on the little trunk in this room? It's like, sure, it's like, okay, maybe there's another key and some gems and a die or something like that, like, it's not necessarily something you need, but it just helps you in your journey, it's like, okay, maybe there's as you go along, it's like, okay, we'll trigger like obviously the dart puzzle is getting harder in or adding more complexity to it in the billiard room. But is there other things like, oh, you know what, let's make, maybe fruit will spawn, bananas will spawn instead of apples or something. Towards like, okay, that's a better food for steps and what have you. I mean, I hate how so few times I get the shovel in this game because I felt like in the demo way back, like you get the shovel a lot.
Dude, the shovel and the metal detector are like game changers for runs. If you get the metal detector early, I feel like it's like the best item in the game.
I feel like and it's funny, it's like, I feel like when I get the metal detector, that's, like, the only time that keys spawn on the floor. Like, if I
Yes.
don't have the metal detector, there's never keys on the floor because I check the security room, like, "Hey, what's our current inventory?" It's like 0. I'm like,
I mean,
"Yeah, I better."
literally the point. I think the
Yeah,
metal
yeah.
detector makes coins and keys spawn on the floor.
Yeah, no doubt. I wish the die were made of metal because you can find the lockpicks, the keys, and the coins, but the die you can miss if you're not careful, and gems. You can't sense gems. But yeah, like those clearly go together in some fashion. But yeah, it's enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
Much like God, what was much like Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, it's challenging to talk about without spoiling things.
Yeah, yeah,
I want to talk
definitely.
about theories I have, but I can't.
Yeah, we have to. It would be fun, but it's like we're coming at it from two different perspectives. If we were both playing it fresh, I'd be theories would be interesting. Um,
Well, it's like
but
you've seen Northern Lion play it, and you're
yeah,
also further in days than me, so potentially like know more, but
yeah, and I
we'll
talked about
see.
something that you didn't know about, so like, oh, this
Yeah, I'm
thing.
like
You're like, what the?
I haven't seen Radiation yet. I'm on like I don't know. I think I'm on like day 8 or 9 or something, but uh I don't know. It's a fun game. I'm liking it a lot. It I have discovered like one or two secret rooms which are like new permanent rooms, which is cool. So now I know there's like the concept of you can add in you can find like additional rooms throughout, which I appreciate that there's, more to it, and where I'm at right now is I feel like there's just a lot more to this game that I don't fully grasp yet, and I'm
Yep.
really excited to figure out what that is, uh, and like what I'm missing.
Yeah, it's curious. Like in the demo, they talk about like, oh, this yada yada. They talk about floor plan mechanics a little more that I feel like they didn't talk about much in this, or else maybe I missed it because I skipped it or something. But I feel like they didn't explain this one thing which you talked about earlier, but I was like, maybe they do, and I missed it. But I feel like in the demo that they kind of told you like, oh, this can only be here, yada yada. So I wish when I put down that permanent one room, like that remodel room or whatever, I was like, because I saw, I was like, "Oh, permanent," and you're like, and then in chat you're like, "Yeah, that room frustrated me," and then I put it down, and you're like, "I hate it now," and I'm like, "Oh, it's permanent." I was like, I should have thought that more, but I'm like, it's not bad where it's at. I'm like, that's fine.
God,
It's just,
yeah, that one. It said it was permanent, and I, I guess I was like, okay, but what do you mean by permanent? Like, this doesn't really mean permanent, right?
But
Like,
is it
there's part of
really?
me, yeah, there's part
yeah,
of me where I was like, okay, I know you say it's permanent, but surely it's not actually permanent. It really just means like something else, correct? And then I'm like, no, it's permanent.
yeah, and it's like,
It does
that's the
warn
thing.
you,
It's like
it's permanent.
if you screw up, it's like starting over is essentially super detrimental. The only thing you have to worry about unlocking again is the outer room. And it's like, but at least then like, oh, I know how to get the garage in that spot. It's just finding the keys will be the frustrating part. It's like, okay,
Right.
where's the keys? But yeah,
Yeah, that one just cracked me up. I'm like, I only have myself to blame. It does say it's permanent.
yep,
I don't know. I really don't know what I thought it meant by
hmm
that, but
yeah,
I didn't think it meant permanent, which that's on me. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, good time. Look forward to playing more of it tonight, and
Yeah.
then Indiana Jones next week, and then the Alter's got a release date for June. That comes out middle of June, so I got to play that before Death Stranding 2. So a lot of stuff.
I'm excited about that game. That game looks great.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess we can go ahead and wrap it there. I don't have any other notes. I didn't take any notes for the game. I think we're good. All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode. I'm sure we'll talk about more blueprints next time once we played some more of it. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Izzy, because I have John.
Yep.
And we'll see you all next time.
Later.
Bye.